A regular evening. That's how it began. There was nothing unusual. No tension in the air, no warning signs. Evelyn, my wife of 10 years, was radiant as always, standing by the mirror in our bedroom. She slipped into a dress she hadn't worn in a while, the one that hugged her curves just right, the one she usually saved for special occasions. Her perfume lingered in the air, floral and familiar, mixing with the faint scent of her favorite lotion. She smiled softly, leaned in for a kiss, and whispered a phrase that at the time felt ordinary. "Don't wait up." She smiled again. Like, easy. Like it was just another Friday night. And maybe it would have been, if not for the silence that followed. No photos. No group selfies. No filters and captions lighting up her social feed like usual. No playful stories of cocktails or blurry laughter from a bathroom mirror. Just stillness. Digital silence. I told myself not to be paranoid. She deserved a night out. But something gnawed at me. A whisper in the back of my mind I couldn't quite ignore. By 1:30 a.m., she still hadn't texted. That's when I crossed the line. I logged into our shared phone plan. Something I'd never done before. It felt invasive, wrong even, but instinct screamed louder than guilt. And there, tucked within the mess of timestamps and messages, I found a name. Over and over. Ralph. Not a college friend. Not someone from her past. He was new. Someone she'd met online. Their messages painted a picture clearer than any photo. Weeks of texts. Flirty, personal, intimate. The kind of conversations we used to have when we were falling in love. Now she was giving that part of herself to someone else. Then I saw it. "Can't wait to see you tonight." That's when it hit me. While I sat at home watching TV and sipping beer, holding on to the idea that we were still building a life together. She was already somewhere else, wrapped up in someone new. She came home at 3:27 a.m. The sound of her heels tapping softly on the hardwood floor was strangely delicate, like she was trying not to wake me. Her hair was slightly tousled, her makeup a little smudged. There was a faint trace of alcohol on her breath. And something else. Guilt. "You're still up?" she asked, her voice carefully neutral. "Yeah," I replied calmly. "Couldn't sleep." "How was the night out?" She hesitated. Just for a second. But it was enough. "It was nice. Just a few old classmates." I didn't realize how late it got. She didn't meet my eyes. Instead, she slipped off her shoes and lined them up neatly by the door, something she only did when she was trying to appear composed. "Who was there?" asked casually. "Oh, you wouldn't know them," she said quickly. He nodded. But I knew the truth. I said nothing more. Not that night. Not the next. Because I didn't just want an admission. I wanted understanding. I wanted proof. Not for a courtroom. For myself. For clarity. For the reckoning that was coming. Over the next several days I became something else. Not a husband. Not a victim. A ghost. Shadow. Watching. Listening. Collecting. Every lie she told became another piece of the puzzle. I accessed her devices when she slept. I reviewed her browsing history, her social media messages, everything. I found out how they'd met. A mutual acquaintance introduced them at a charity event she claimed to have forgotten to mention. It wasn't just a fling. It was a second life. The photo I discovered one night confirmed everything. Ralph's arm wrapped around her waist, her head resting on his shoulder. The two of them glowing, laughing. Not friends. Lovers. And I realized something then. Rage would be too easy. Too noisy. I needed to strike like a scalpel, not a hammer. So I let her believe she'd fooled me. I smiled when she talked. I kissed her goodnight. But behind the curtain I built an arsenal. I tracked Ralph. Found his job, his history, his mistakes. I created a fake online persona, tailored to slip perfectly into Evelyn's world. Through that I befriended Ralph. Slowly. Cautiously. He never suspected a thing. In parallel, I wired our home with discreet surveillance. Audio, video, screen captures. Every message. Every whispered phone call. Every deceitful laugh. All of it recorded, catalogued, archived. I wasn't collecting revenge. I was designing it. And then came the final piece. Evelyn told me she'd be meeting Monica for coffee. But I already knew. Monica was a decoy. She was heading to Ralph's apartment. I watched her leave. I didn't stop her. Instead, I sat at my desk, opened the folder labeled Act 1, and uploaded the video. A masterfully edited exposé of their affair, cut with timestamps, quotes, and overlays. Presented as a psychological case study in digital betrayal. Anonymous. Undeniable. The internet reacted exactly as I predicted. By the time Evelyn returned, the storm was already at her doorstep. She walked in with the same smile she'd worn that night she left me behind. But it melted away the second she checked her phone. Notifications exploding. Messages from friends, coworkers, even family. Judging. Asking. Demanding. "What is this?" she whispered, trembling, her face drained of color. I stood at the edge of the room, cold, unshaken. "I told you," I said softly. "Don't wait up." Her eyes welled with tears. "Was this you?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. She broke down. Apologized. Begged. But the line had already been crossed. I packed my bags and left without a word. Let the silence speak for me. But I wasn't done. She still had the house, the joint accounts, the life I had built. That wasn't justice. That was unfinished business. 3 days later, I transferred every cent from our shared accounts into a secure offshore fund, set up months earlier when I first felt that chill in my gut. Every transaction traced back to her credentials. Her password had been scribbled carelessly in a notebook on her nightstand. Then I turned my attention to Ralph. One of my recordings had captured him boasting to Evelyn over dinner about insider trading. Details, names, transactions. I clipped that segment and sent it directly to his employer. The fallout was instant. An SEC investigation. Co-workers flipping. Ralph's future disintegrated. Prison time was now a very real possibility. And Evelyn. For her, I had something personal. Using my footage, I assembled Act 2, a private compilation of her most vulnerable moments. The crying, the pleading, the drunken, lonely spirals, the screaming matches with her sister. I sent it directly to every name in her contacts with the subject line. Your daughter, your friend. The truth. Her father, a respected pastor, disowned her publicly. Her sister deleted every photo they'd ever taken together. The yoga studio where she taught part-time terminated her immediately. And then came Act 3, the divorce. Our state recognized fault-based dissolution. I filed with an ironclad case. The judge reviewed my documentation and awarded me everything. The house, the assets, even sole custody of our dog, Evelyn's most loyal companion. Now, she walks alone through the ruins of the life she tried to build on lies. No money. No lover. No dignity. And me. Moved on. Quietly. Cleanly. But I left behind a reminder. The wreckage of a perfect facade shattered by truth, precision, patience. And that, my friend, was only the beginning.